Hello and welcome back to another episode of We Deliver Rocks. Guys, first of all, thank you and praise the Lord for all of this support. Our channel is growing super fast and we wouldn't be doing it without you. Secondly, I have been receiving so many questions on how to do this stuff. How do I do this rock delivery? So in today's video, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you everything that I have figured out up until this point and everything that has got me started in this business in hopes that I can help you get started in this business. But it doesn't stop there. I want to take this channel further. I want to figure out how can I help you guys start little heavy duty side hustles. I don't want it to stop at these rock deliveries. So drop a comment and make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to our channel because your subscriptions matter. We care and that's how we grow. Let's be real. So if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Anyways, if you have any other ideas or you want us to explore any more industries, please let us know because we want to help you. How do you get started? How do you price your rocks? What size trailers did you get and why? How do you find clients? What insurance? What about DOT? I'm going to try to answer all these questions in this video. So the first thing and first order of business is actual business. If I was you, I would start an LLC, and you can do this for pennies on the dollar in most states, and you can actually do it yourself, or you can hire a registered agent to create this business for you. But I would just figure out how to do it yourself. On top of registering for an LLC, and I say this for a reason because it's way more professional. And if you want to grow in this industry, I mean, I guess you could do it without an LLC technically, but I would get an LLC. This way you can brand yourself, you can grow your LLC, and yada, yada, yada. It's just a little cleaner way to do it. Anyways, go to your state's website, Secretary of State, see if you can create an LLC, and everybody can do it, and do it. After that, you may have to get some sales tax licenses for your city and for your state, just permission to sell taxable items, which rocks are typically in your state. I would do this, and I would do this first. Guys, it's way more professional to start a legitimate LLC with a legitimate name and a legitimate logo than it is doing this stuff under the table or with your name. So if you really want to grow and exploit this industry, I highly suggest that you actually register your business, and that's going to be my number one thing to do is go register your business. Now let's talk trailers. Initially, I purchased 2 trailers, an 8.5 by 22 foot flatbed with drive over fenders and ramps so that people who wanted to rent these things out could transport skid steers, heavy equipment, and yada yada. And I also got a 7 by 14 with 3-foot wall dump trailer. Both of these trailers had tandem 7,000 pound axles, which in my opinion, guys, is going to be the minimum. You're dealing with so much weight. The most baby skid steer weighs like 8,000 pounds. So you're talking about your trailer, which weighs 3,000 or 4,000 pounds, plus another 10,000 pounds, and you have 7 tandem 7,000 pound axles. Like, you're already at the limit there. And skids just get heavier and more intense from there, at least for these flatbeds. But with these dump trailers, you can transport skids too. So I would get a minimum of a tandem setup with 7,000 pound axles. If not, go more than that, because what I'm finding out is this stuff, all like skids, rocks, and whatever, it weighs a lot. So what I don't want to be doing and or recommending is overloading your trailer. Get something that is going to be well above or enough or adequate for what you're actually doing. And I would say a minimum of 7,000 pound tandem axles for this. Now let's talk about the 7 by 14, this dump trailer right here. Why did I choose this one, and why and would I recommend it for somebody who's getting into this? And the quick answer is yeah, of course I would recommend a 7 by 14 with your tandem 7K axles, so 14K weight capacity. And I would choose a 7 by 14 with like taller walls, like 3-foot to 4-foot walls. This way you can do more jobs than just deliver rocks with a tiny little 7 by 12 trailer with like 1-foot walls. Guys, if you get a trailer like this, not only can you deliver rocks, which will probably never make it up to the 3-foot wall mark, but you can deliver sod, you can deliver dirt, you can deliver other things. You can also do trash removal jobs. You can do renovation stuff, you can do trash removal jobs. The sky's the limit. And this trailer, 7 by 14 with 3-foot walls, and allows you to get into more than just delivering rock. So here's where we're at. 1, start your LLC. and get your sales tax licenses. 2, decide what trailers you want to do if this is something you in fact want to do. My recommendation, 7 by 14 3-foot walls and 8.5 by 22 foot. If you're going to get into the rentals, that is 8.5 by 22 foot flat bed, completely flat, would be another trailer that you could get into and do some rentals with at least. So the third thing we're going to talk about is contracts and insurance. And I will just disclaim this now. I am not a legal professional. I recommend that you hire somebody who can actually help you with this stuff, but I will tell you the way I did it. So we live in a world, it's 2024, where we can find anything we need online. So what I did is I found a template and then I used AI to help me rewrite my template and make a contract for my business with everything that I wanted to be in it. Things that I recommend you consider when you're writing your contract or you're hiring somebody to write your contract is basically this lays out every single expectation for your entire rental. What can they do? What can't they do? Are there damages for XYZ? So everything that you can think of, you want to be in here. What's the expectation on where they return their trailer or how they return their trailer? What if they need it extended? What if it gets stolen? What if it gets damaged? Yada, yada, yada. You're gonna want to either do a lot of research and write your own contract or hire somebody that can actually do it for you. It's probably not that expensive. Me, I did it myself. Let's talk insurance. This one's a little interesting. I personally use Progressive Commercial to insure all of my trailers. They can probably help you out too. I'm not paid to say this, I just use them. But it seems there are a couple of options within this industry. My recommendation, just find somebody who can do like a general liability policy or find some provider that's specific to renting your trailers if that's a route you want to go down. Otherwise, generally speaking, from the research I've done, and it seems like this is a little controversial and not every carrier does this, but when a customer hooks up, in regards to like a rental, when a customer hooks up to your trailer, technically it's covered under their policy for the amount of time at least that it's hooked up to their car. So some people say you don't really need insurance, but me, I don't want my trailer sitting around like potentially getting stolen and not being insured. So I insured my trailers so that wouldn't happen, and it offers me some insurance with these rentals. So long story short, I don't have a perfect answer for you. You guys are going to need to do some research. I use Progressive, but there are other options out there that might be better fit for renting versus just doing like these rock runs. All right, we're moving on to number 4. Number 4 is a little tricky because every state's a little bit different. But before you get into this delivery business, you should know that at 26,000 pounds or above, and that includes the weight of your trailer and your truck and your cargo, you need a CDL. Unless you're doing farm stuff for your farm or your ranch, which most of us are probably not, you need a CDL in certain states above 26,000 pounds. So DOT is going to be involved in some of this stuff. Now, if you live in a state that requires you to get like a DOT number, if you're going over a certain amount of weight, like 16,000 pounds, you may need to do that even though you're not at a CDL weight. So look into your DOT number, and if it's required for your state, that's going to be number 4. DOT number, is it required for your state? And if it is, you could just go to their website, the government's website, DOT. You could just Google literally DOT number and take their little quiz or their test. It should prompt you, do I need a DOT number? And some of you will. If you do get your DOT number, it's not that hard. If you do this, just be ready for people to like blow your phone up and try to sell you services that you don't need. You don't need to buy anything technically. You can do all the stuff that DOT says you need to do if you do need a DOT number yourself. You don't need to hire anybody to do that stuff anyway. So DOT, do your research. You might need it. Regardless, at 26,000 pounds or above, you're going to need a CDL. Probably not going to need a CDL with rock delivery unless you're doing like 10, 15 tons all at once, in which you would really need a dump truck. You cannot do that with that trailer. All right, my friends, if you waited this long, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. How do you find business? So we've created an LLC. We've done our research and insured our trailers. We've also decided on which trailers we want to get. Now it's time to get business. And this is so simple. It's so simple. All I want you guys to do is go to your local rock yard and take actual pictures. Don't be stealing no pictures from people's websites because you can get in trouble for that. Go to a yard and physically take the picture of all the rocks you want to list. What you can do too is get a contractor's price for all of these rocks. So given that you're a contractor now, right, because you're doing contract work and you have an LLC, you should be able to get contractor pricing is what I'm saying at these yards. And there's a good difference between contractor pricing and the pricing they're showing customers on their website. So this little deviance in price can be your markup, or you could just cut out people and charge a little less if you really wanted to. So anyways, first thing I want you to do is take these pictures and I want you to make a couple of ads on Facebook Marketplace. You're going to sell these rocks as items. And this doesn't have to just be for rocks. You could do this with anything. Facebook is not going to take your post down because you are actually selling on Marketplace a physical good. So the way I did it was I went and I took pictures of all the rocks that I could get that I think people would like, some mulch, some sod, and general landscaping materials. I actually created a website and I have all this stuff on my website, but at a minimum we need pictures. This way we can post an ad on Facebook. I posted an ad for whatever rock and whatever size it was and what my per ton price was. So my ads on, well, I have a couple, but most of my ads on Facebook are 1 ton of, say, crushed black granite, or 1 ton of 1 and 1.5 inch glacier white cobble. And so I've made a couple of listings, and then what I did is I also made a general listing. So landscaping rocks and materials for sale, $100. And I list out everything that I can offer these clients. And so what they'll do is they'll message me and be like, hey, do you have this rock in the second or third picture? And I say, yes, I can get this. Here's the cost and here's delivery. On that note, so here's how I typically break down my prices and decide what I want to charge. I've been doing this for a little bit now, and I think I would recommend, honestly, to start out at the price that people are seeing on their website. This way you don't tick a bunch of people off and you're like, well, you're charging $20 more than I can find it from Pioneer and Parker. Okay, that's not a bad thing, but you might lose business because of that. So what might be more beneficial to you guys who are just starting this out is if Pioneer and Parker or Random Place sells it for $100 per ton, this specific rock, then offer it at $100 per ton, or offer it a little bit cheaper than that, because that's how you'll secure more business. You might not make $100 every single hour, but you might get more business. So who knows? So we have this discrepancy in the price that you're buying the rock for at a contractor price, and then what you're selling it for. There's your markup. On top of your markup, you guys should be charging a delivery fee, and it may look different for every one of you, and that's okay too. What I did is basically $100 for delivery, plus the cost of rock and tax, $100 per delivery within 15 to 20 miles of my hometown. Anything out of that, it goes up 20, 40, 50, even $100. I've done some deliveries where I've charged $200 because I gotta go 30 miles that way just to come 30 miles this way. And I will add in there too, different rock yards price their stuff at differently. I have some crushed black granite that everybody keeps asking for, 1.5 inch crushed black granite, so popular out here. One store will have it and they'll charge $120 for it. Another store 15 miles away maybe has it for like $70. So there's going to be discrepancies in price. People are always going to be able to undercut or overcut you anyways. Just understand that. So there's going to be some testing in the market that you're going to have to figure out. What you start with might not be what you end up charging people with. So you have your markup again, and you have your delivery. Mine was $100 minimum for delivery at this point, and I'll typically only deliver or sell rock that's 1 ton minimum. Otherwise, it's just not super worth it. But you guys can do whatever you want. So we started on Facebook. We posted a couple of items on Marketplace for sale. I posted the size of the rock, the actual name of the rock, and what it costs per 1 ton. Then these people are going to message you, and by all means, dudes, I was like overwhelmed with messages. I had to put my phone down and take some breaks. I was averaging about $1,000 a weekend, which was phenomenal starting this out, and I've tailored it back since then because I need a breather, and that's okay too. Don't overload yourself. You get burnt out really quick. Now, I do want to note something important that I've been thinking about prior to making this video. We have amassed I wouldn't say a large following by any means, but we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. This means that if every single one of you who watches this video goes and does this, inevitably there's going to be some overlap in your area or areas close to you. So what I suspect is that if 14,000 people watch this video and start doing this, that the market is going to get a little competitive, and you guys need to understand this. While I'm here to help you, this is potentially affects me too. Like somebody just across the street could be watching this video, they go do it, and now they're my competition. So, but I don't care about that. I care about helping you guys, and I just want you to know that it can get very competitive out there. That's also why on this channel I want to enable you guys and show you and teach you how to do other things than just this rock delivery. Because if we continue to grow like we are, and everybody wants to do this, it's going to get really competitive, and then people are undercutting people for jobs, and it might not even make sense for you at this time. But we have a little bit of time before I think we'll get there. We'll have to see how that goes. But just a disclaimer, that might happen too. And a lot of people are doing this online too. People are showing you how to do this rock stuff. So just understand it might be competitive. So take that with a grain of salt. That's all. So number 6, next up is going to be safety. Now this is really important. If you're focusing on rentals, and even if you're focusing on rocks, this still applies too. Like, you guys need to know, and I highly recommend you figure out proper towing requirements and proper towing distribution, weight distribution. Where and how should loads be placed in trailers, on trailers, and how should it be set up on my tongue of my truck, etc., etc., etc. If you're focusing on the rental side of this business, you should also be aware that not everybody that's renting your trailers knows how to tow and knows about proper weight distribution. So it's up to you. If you want to make sure that people are not damaging your stuff or they're overloading your trailers, that it's in your contract and you're talking about this stuff to people too. For instance, weight, or the majority of weight, should be loaded over axles. So this dump trailer has a 17,000 pound limit, minus the weight of the trailer, of which should be centered on these 2 axles. And what I see a lot of on the road is all the weight is pushed to the front, or it's loaded incorrectly. The tongue weight on the truck is super heavy. It pushes down on the pushes down significantly and creates a lot of squat on the truck, and it's just not safe. These hitches have weight ratings, which are usually 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. So if I have 5 tons, which is 10,000 pounds of rock, plus a 4,000 pound trailer, I'm at 14,000, I'm maxed out, and the significant portion of this weight is up front. So you guys need to make sure you're educating people that don't know how to use these trailers if you're focusing on rentals. And you need to make sure too that if you're doing these rock deliveries, that you're loading things properly, because you could literally hurt someone if your trailer is not loaded correctly. It could pop off, it could break, your hitch could break. Like, it's not safe to be doing this unsafely, if that makes sense. So my recommendation on that is do your research. Figure out gross vehicle tow ratings and what they really mean and how it applies for the stuff that you're going to do, so we can do it safely together. All right, so next up is going to be pricing. We just talked about this a little bit, but let's go a little bit more in depth. Actually, before we go in depth, I just wanted to say thank you guys again. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for sharing these videos. Like, we are growing super fast. And on top of thanking you guys, I want to thank the man above. I want to thank God. Thank you so much for doing this, and I hope that you guys feel his spirit too. And for the haters out there that don't like me saying that, hey, I guess you don't have to watch my video, but praise the Lord, he is the reason that I am here doing this right now and helping you guys too. So thank you, and let's continue. Pricing. So what I recommend, and I kind of said this before, is find the average of what people are charging for specific rocks and specific tonnage of rocks, and I would start there. So example, Pioneer and Parker charges $125 per ton of glacier white rock. So that would be a pretty good place to start. Although I'm not going to start there, if I don't have a contractor account like we talked about before. So I'm going to make sure I have a contractor account. But that's what I would do. I would go to your yards and I would say, okay, if Pioneer's pricing it at $125 per ton, I can get it for $100 per ton. There's a nice spread of profit in there, plus whatever profit you're going to make for deliveries. I would do $100 minimum for deliveries unless they're very close, because your time matters. The moment you back your truck up to hook this trailer up, you're on the clock. And you're on the clock after you drop the stuff off and you're backing your trailer back into your spot, or however you do that. So if Pioneer 2 has Glacier White listed for $100 and you can get it for $70, okay, maybe I do $100 and there's that spread. So you're going to have to mess with this, is kind of what I'm getting at. There's no perfect price structure. You take the price, you increase it a little bit, and then you make more from your actual delivery, which is totally normal. People pay for delivery all the time. If I had a blanket recommendation, it would be find a starting price, increase it 10 to 25%, 25 might be a little bit high, increase it 10 to 25% and see what the market accepts. Add your delivery fee on top of that, of which it's your choice. You can do $50 delivery fee to make sure you can start, and you have clients. You can do a $75 delivery fee. You can do a $100 delivery fee. It doesn't matter. Start with something, mark it up, add some delivery, and see how the market takes it. Because if you're charging too much, it's going to be obvious people are not going to do it, and you can lower your prices, or vice versa. If you're not charging enough, you're getting a lot of business, well, maybe you charge a little bit more and see what the market accepts. So as we begin to wrap this up, I want you guys to know that it doesn't stop here, and this channel doesn't stop here too. When you have a trailer like this, these things are freaking money makers. And whether you're renting it out to people who are doing home renovations, whether you're delivering materials to people, to residential or commercial peoples, or whether you're doing rock deliveries, sky's the limit. You can make a lot more than just money from rocks with these trailers. So that's why I ended up getting this trailer, and it's a money maker. I mean, I have to work a little bit for it, but not really that much. I mean, I post a couple of ads on Facebook and wow, they're renting it, and wow, they're actually using my services. So these things are pretty cool. They're pretty money makers, man. As we wrap this up, I just wanted to give you guys a couple of tips. So from what I've learned, here are some advice. A, make sure you have straps and you have chains, especially if you're in the rental game. They come in handy. B, make sure you put GPS trackers, especially if you're doing rentals, on your equipment. C, spare tires are going to come in handy, especially if you're renting. But even if you're not renting, you have a blowout on the highway, you're going to want to have a spare. The last thing I might recommend too is if you have a flatbed and you're doing car deliveries, I've been asked multiple times, do you have a winch? So people who have cars that are broken down, they rent your trailer, they need a winch to bring their car up. So that could be something that you invest in too. So I hope you guys take this information, and I hope that you start making some money. Make sure you like this channel or you like this video and you subscribe to our channel if you're going to do this. I really want to follow along your journey as well. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity to do this. I hope you do it. Long story short, we talked about a lot. We talked about so much in this video that you should be able to technically go out, start your LLC, do a little bit of research, and start making money this weekend. And I hope you do.